Hi, my name's Joanie Eisinger. Welcome to my channel. Please go to jonieswhitelighthealing.com if you'd like to find out more about me. I offer in-person sessions for those who are local to North Central New Jersey, and I offer Facebook, FaceTime, Skype, and phone sessions for folks who are local and folks who aren't. I used to be a social worker in New York City for 10 years. I didn't believe in any of this. And in around 2003, 4, 5, I became gifted with abilities, and this is what I do now. I'm a psychic, a medium, and a healer. You could find me on Facebook. Please like my Facebook, Joanie's White Light Healing fan page. And if you'd like to friend me, just message me and let me know how you found me. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, and SoundCloud. Here on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and like the bell all icon. Press that subscribe, and I meant to say press the subscribe bell all icon, like, share, and comment below. There's a lot to keep track of when you start a video. I bring in the highest of Christ-like consciousness, the ones that are enlightened, the highest vibration. I do not have any timestamps, I believe, associated with this video. Spirit knows who will be watching and when, so if it resonates at another date outside of September 6, 2020, fantastic. And if it's right on point for today, even better. If it doesn't resonate, I suggest shelving it. I bring in archangels and angels, ascended masters, guides, departed ones, elementals, consciousnesses, and star beings. I think that's about it. So I felt very moved to do a video on favoritism. As a former therapist, I used to hear clients' complaints about their being the favorite in a family and the detrimental effects it had on them, or another family member, another sibling being favorited instead of them, and how that negatively affected them. Now, as a healer and as a psychic, a spiritual coach, educator, inspirer, I hear more of this. I continue to hear about favoritism. In my personal life, I have heard many people tell me that one of their kids is their favorite. And I've also heard people talk about that they were the favorite. Not everyone complains. Some people think it's fantastic that they're favoring one child over another, or that they were favored over their siblings. I'm going to go into this. I'm going to address this from a fifth dimensional perspective as well as a third dimensional perspective. So when I mean third dimensional, I mean this physical plane here, where we are a spirit in a body having a human experience for spiritual growth opportunity. So we agree before coming in who our parents will be and who our siblings will be. Now, this favoritism, it might actually be outside of the nuclear family. Maybe it's favoring the cousin over the child in the nuclear family, but I'm pretty much going to be sticking with when a parent or caregiver is favoring one child of theirs over another in that immediate family. But keep in mind the concept of favoritism. You might have a boss that's leading a team and they might be favoring one person over another. Okay, so to get back to the pre-birth planning, you have your soul group that you meet with in this beautiful divine experience when you're considering incarnating into Earth School. And you put a lot of things into consideration. There's a lot of karma that you might be balancing and others are balancing, and you might have curiosity, you might be being of service. Whatever the case is, it could be a combination of all. But no one is a victim, and everyone knows the landscape, who their parents will be or whether they will be adopted, whether they will be transferred over to another family member or even a stranger or a neighbor, who knows. But people generally have the very significant details regarding the parents and the siblings set before coming in. Okay. If there is an issue regarding favoritism that needs to be worked through, that could be set in the pre-birth plan. So let's say I'm going to be the child that's going to be born, and I favored some child over another in a previous lifetime or lifetimes, and I created imbalance, or I was blaming other, I was blaming self. I go to my passing in that previous lifetime, incurring karma with unforgiveness. I have to do a do-over. So I need to create a story that has a similar theme but a different day. So it could be that I'm going to favor again, or I'm going to be favored or in someone's disfavor. So if I come in as the child, I can't be favoring the child. It's going to be decided by my caregivers. So if I created favoritism in another lifetime, I could do one of two things. I could either be favored to see what it's like and maybe be put up on a pedestal, and then there might be some disharmony that's created with the other sibling or siblings, or it might be in favor of the caregiver or caregivers, and there's another sibling that's favored over me, and then I get to see what it's like because I did that to a nuclear family, to kids in another lifetime. So we set this up. I could be getting it again, or I could be learning by opposites. And there could be karmic debt involved if I had unforgiveness regarding this. If there is no karma related, then it is a learning opportunity that's set up. I could also be doing this irregardless of karma or curiosity. I could be doing this to be of service. So let's say I'm going to be favored. That's not an easy job when you're being favored over another or other siblings, because there's jealousy and contempt at times that is created within that nuclear family, within that family system. So you need to get on your big girl or big boy britches if you are going to be set up as the favored child. So the agreement is made. In being of service, you're offering the parents, caregiver, caregivers, siblings the opportunity to consider another way of equal love, balance, considering people's feelings and thoughts, taking into consideration pitting one against the other, splitting, driving wedges. There are many concepts around favoritism. Favoritism might be well meant, but I believe that it is a lower vibration concept that creates imbalance, jealousy, and contempt. There is often heart wounding and mind effing when the child sees that another is being favored. For the one that is favored, they are also mind-effed because they didn't necessarily earn anything more than any other sibling. So when they get the favorite special doll for Christmas and the other ones get lumps of coal or some ratty toy, there's something that goes on in the favored child's psyche where they are earning things without having done the work for it. They are being rewarded for not having put anything in it. And it gives that soul, it could give them unease. It could have them question their self-worth. It could give them a big head, and oftentimes a narcissist is created because there is a fragile ego that comes out of being doted on and elevated without any reason. Okay. Now let's get back to, you've done your pre-birth planning and now you're born. And now the veil is over you and you do not remember the plan. You are now experiencing, let's say you're experiencing as the soul, favoritism, and it feels great. It is absolutely the best thing. It's like, oh my God, this is the best thing. But what ends up happening is that There are others around, the sibling or siblings, that start having feelings and actions. Sometimes they're kept inside and they're buried, and other times they act out, and then problems exist. Oftentimes, parents are not aware that they are creating disharmony in the system. Speaking up, being that tall child, which is the hardest thing to do. I don't even know if there are children that are doing this and going, hey, wait a minute, why are you giving me that priceless toy? And Janie got the raggedy doll. That's a very daring thing to do. This is probably the very, very strong soul that would be able to do this to their elder. And on the flip side, you have the unfavored, the child in disfavor, and it's the broad, strong soul that would then say to the caregiver, hey, why am I getting the ratty doll and this one's getting the priceless, gorgeous one? Puts them at risk. There's a lot of risk going on, there's tension, and that's when you start creating division in a system. Then we start getting into the favored child looking at the parents and going, I'm better than, you love me more. And then sometimes that child could start feeling guilty about their being favored, and then they could start becoming depressed. They could start acting out to be the bad child in order to have their sibling or siblings get the attention and the favor. Parents, again, there's a lot of well-meaning in that favoritism, but a lot of times the parents are very, very unaware, and when acting out behavior happens, when there are rifts between the children, or the favored child is acting out, or the disfavored child is trying to get attention and there's acting out, they don't know why. So I'm putting this out there for all of you who have experienced favoritism and maybe are parents and are favoring your children. You are doing the family system a disservice all around. The psyche of the child is a sponge, and they take in the words, they take in the actions. And that if you are favored, you think you're just taking it in, like drinking the water. You don't even question it because the parent knows best, because they're older and they take care of you. There must be something about me that makes me more special than my sibling or siblings. It has to be. But they go through their life wondering why, until they grow up, and then they start seeing that this is called favoritism. For some, they love that, and they go to their passing beaming, thinking that this is the be-all, end-all, and everyone should get involved, that this is just a great thing. Choose one of the siblings that is your best, and then you let them know that. Then you also have the disfavored child. And then their psyche is, there must be something wrong with me. I must be ugly, the ugly duckling, the black sheep. I'm bad. I can never do anything right. No matter what I do, they don't see me, hear me, know me, feel me. And this is destruction of the wholeness of a soul. That a soul needs to be seen clearly for who they are, and that when you have children, they are to be embraced in their entirety, in their wholeness, in their beauty, and acknowledged equally. Now, again, we have the pre-birth plan. Well, why would you create a favoritism scenario if you just said that it's about treating people equally? Then why are people going into lifetimes and treating them unequally? The soul growth opportunity is to heal any wounds from other lifetimes, to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to understand what it feels like, to get into the feelings of it, and to learn what is love. Love is unconditional, and love is balanced. Love is centered. Love doesn't measure and judge. And that when a soul sees that every sibling is unique in their own way and deserves equal attention, that is the true win. That is the victory that souls would be yearning towards as they set up a pre-birth plan regarding favoritism. Now, I want to get into a problem child or the difficult one and why a parent might favor one over another. It is human nature for a parent to want to spend more time with a soul, with a child that is easier than another. That is just our tendency. We want to stay away. Usually we want to stay away from chaos and we gravitate towards something that feels good. But people fall into pitfalls and then they start favoring. So it's very important. It's intention and awareness that is important here for the parent who is dealing with the problem child. They might even be adults at this point. They might be older. And you could have two or more. And that you are favoring one over another. And you need to ask yourself, the one that I am having difficulty with, have I expressed to them that I love them? Have I expressed to them that I care? But that I can't be involved because of their situation. It's not like, oh, I like them because they're easier. They don't give me the problems that you do. The other sibling or siblings have nothing to do with that one. That difficult child, the problem child, I love you, I understand, but it's so challenging. You don't listen to me, or you're stealing from me, or I can't have you be abusive to me. And I need to keep you at arm's length or we can't talk. And when you leave the other one out of it, there is a balance. So if any of you misconstrued my words, I'm not suggesting that you pay attention to everyone equally if there's one that you might recoil from, or they are dangerous, or they are abusive, whatever the case, it's take a look at how you are viewing them. Now, you as a parent might have been favored, so that's something that you take on as natural, that it might be that this is what we do. What I suggest in that case is ask yourself, how do you feel that your sibling or siblings felt about your being the favored child? And see if you could jump over into their shoes and be them. The most important thing, the takeaway from this, is getting into the shoes of others. And as a parent, we have very big responsibilities. They're very great. We are role models and teachers, and that we bring souls into the world and we show them the way, so then when they grow up, they can pass it forward. If they have children, could be that they're managers and that they have a team and that they learn about fairness and balance, and that wherever they apply it, if it's not in having children, you're offering them the opportunity to see each soul individually for who they are. Jumping into another person's shoes is how you gain compassion and empathy. If you practice that, you might never favor again, because you would see how uncomfortable both souls feel, the favored and the one in disfavor. I'm going to see if there's anything more to say about this topic, because I felt it was so important. Yeah. If you were favored, and if you came to realize that it was not healthy, it's very important for you to forgive your parents or your caregivers. Very, very important. This could have been pre-birth planned. It might have been post-incarnation free will choice. Whatever the case, your parents, caregivers did the best they could. This was part of the story that you're in for soul growth opportunity. Forgiving other and forgiving self is paramount. And then asking yourself, what can I learn from this? As the one that was in disfavor in the family, oftentimes there's I was neglected, therefore I neglect myself, or maybe there's low self-esteem, so you might have become narcissistic in it's all about me, and now you're looking for the attention now because you didn't get it from your home, because your brother or sister got it and you didn't. Whatever the case, again, forgive your parents, your caregivers, and forgive the one who was favored. They didn't choose to be favored when they were born, okay? That's something that's either set up beforehand or it came into being. There isn't a discussion with the parents and the kid. Okay, you want to be the favored one? I'm going to favor you. We're going to see what happens, okay? Let's handshake on it. No, this could have been organically created if it wasn't pre-birth planned. Forgive your parents, forgive yourself, and forgive the favored one. And again, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? I will see if there's anything more. Some folks might take a look at this video and say, well, I'm fine. I like this. This is good. And that's perfectly fine. There are no shoulds here. This is a Baskin-Robbins world, many, many flavors. And we all do what we feel is right, good. I am just one person offering my truth, my take on things, and that there's your truth, my truth, and the truth. And that if this resonates with you, that is fantastic. And if it doesn't, that is okay as well. Everyone journeys according to their heart knowing. So you get to leave this video with, never thought of that. Or, yeah, I'd thought of that. Glad you put it that way. Or I've said exactly what she's been saying too. And this just reminds me again to watch out as a parent or a grandparent, babysitter, nanny, au pair, caregiver, daycare worker, teacher. Whatever the case, this favoritism goes on in many situations where there are groups and there's the favored child, the favored employee, and we need to be shifting our brains and our hearts regarding this concept. We are all God sparks. We are all special. We are all unique. We all work together as a collective. So with that, I will bid you adieu, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye, y'all.